Welcome to the Project Achilles. Today we are going to discuss tactics and self-defense by analyzing a case where a man steps in to rescue a victim during an armed robbery in broad daylight on a New York City street. So what are the lessons learned from this case?
Oh my God.
The first key takeaway for your own situational awareness is understanding the attacker's modus operandi. How are they targeting victims and how are they executing the robbery? From what we see on the video, it appears that they are driving around and randomly targeting victims. And we can say that because you can see them suddenly veering off the road and going after that guy on the pavement to rob him. So this is the first key point. They're not having a victim in mind. They're most likely targeting them while driving around. The second point is how are they executing the robbery? You can see that there is a teamwork, kind of a procedure. You have one driver, one passenger. The driver is maneuvering a motorcycle and you can see him using it to block the victim against the wall, while the passenger is armed and executing the robbery from the motorcycle. He's not dismounting the motorcycle, he's staying on the passenger seat and is executing the robbery from there. There are three important points to note here from the attacker's perspective. It's the easy target scheme, psychological dominance. The victim is alone, the layout is favorable for an attack, and the attackers are outnumbering the victim. For instance, in that case, there are 2-on-1. All the conditions are here, they feel in a good position, they can attack. The second one is more operational. It's the hit and run procedure. You can see that they want to act quick and exit quick. The passenger is staying on the motorcycle, the driver is ready to exit. It means that if it's taking more time than they thought, and if the victim is resisting or maybe fighting them off, they probably won't stay long. So it's a good insight to have. The third one is the use of violence. It's both psychological and operational. They don't hesitate to punch the victim in the face, and you can see that in the video. It's to gain compliance quickly, get an advantage, psychological advantage, so the victim frees. They comply because they don't want to be hurt. So it means that if you want to fight these kind of guys, you have to be ready to fight people who are striking you. They're not going to hesitate to strike you maybe with a weapon or with a punch or with whatever. So it can be really painful and you can get hurt, but it depends on how you train and how resilient you are and how determined you are to fight for yourself. Second lesson is awareness and determination. And we can say that the rescuer is showing strong awareness and determination. We can say that he knows that the gun is involved and that he has a clear plan and that he's committed to taking action. So we can see how he's going to execute his action. He's coming from behind the attacker to use the element of surprise, and he goes straight for the gun. He's not trying to strike or do anything else. He goes directly for the primary threat, wrestling the gun, controlling the gun, grabbing the gun, and it's a very good thing. So whatever is happening during the scramble is a bit chaotic, but I would say it's always like this, and he did the best he could in that situation. He has a two-handed grip on the gun, and he's never losing it. He's wrestling and forcing the attacker to dismount the motorcycle, which is a great thing because he's putting the attacker in danger. And we should also notice that this guy is doing every of that while wearing flip-flops, which is kind of an exploit. I would say that this good Samaritan has a kind of training, judging by the way he's acting and stay calm throughout the situation. And it's an important thing to notice is that usually training going to help you to handle these types of situations better than if you don't have any type of training. The third lesson is the gun is becoming the main focus of the gun. You can see that because when the rescuer is grabbing the gun, everybody is fighting for it. Even though the attacker is striking him, the good Samaritan stays focused on controlling the gun, wrestling for it. He's even forcing the attacker of the motorcycle. None of them are striking because both know that whoever is losing the gun is losing the fight. And it's even more obvious because at some point the rescuer wrestled the gun away, and at that time the attacker just jump on the motorcycle and they exit. They just flee. It's also interesting to notice that how the driver is positioning the motorcycle ready to have a getaway, because we can say that, okay, these guys are drilled, they have a procedures, but then they're not used to people fighting them off because they are in this easy prey scheme. So if it's more difficult than they thought, probably you're going to have a good chance to get away and fight them off, especially if you have a gun, a tool, or training, or if you are able to really defend yourself. It's why training is really important in this type of situation, because you can really turn the table. The final lesson is the rescuer's clarity of action. You can see him running after the attackers after securing the gun. And you can also see that he's keeping his gun pointing down and he's holding his fire. And it's the correct decision, because you should not shoot at someone who is fleeing. In self-defense, the threat must be immediate, so it would be hard to justify shooting at someone who is fleeing away. If you are witnessing a situation like this and you are recording it, try to collect valuable information for the police, such as the brand of the motorcycle, the license plate number, or clear images of the attackers is going to help a lot to identify the attackers and arrest them. Follow Project Achilles for more self-defense content.